and welcome back to my channel, TorAthena, where today I am doing a review on my life. I'm not, because that would just depress me. I'm kind of gonna do a review on my life in the past 2018. For the past couple of years that I have been on YouTube, I have kind of reviewed the year I have just lived. I usually do the good, the bad, and the ugly, I guess, but this time I'm gonna try and just focus on the positives because the negatives will cripple me. But yes, anyone who follows my daily vlogs or even just follows this channel will know that I have not been around a lot this year because I have had an exhausting year. But I'm not going to focus on that, I'm going to focus only on the good. And one thing I try and do in the name of positivity is I have an album on my personal Facebook. And in this personal album, I only upload good things that have happened in that specific year. So I can reflect and look back on only the positives and the joyous things to have happened. So I thought what I would do is I'd go through some of the pictures in this album and talk about them. Okay, so really annoyingly, there is no information on this. It just says 49 weeks ago, which is really infuriating. Okay, so it would have been quite nice to get the dates, but it doesn't matter. But the first post in the good things to happen in 2018 was I closed Level Up, my initial Level Up store. In 2017, I opened a second shop with the idea to pick which one should remain open forever. So when I closed this one in January, it wasn't necessarily I was closing down Level Up because it was going bankrupt or anything. It was because I chose to keep the Victoria Street open. But it was a little bittersweet because I knew I was going to bigger and better places, but I knew that it was a more unstable future, although what I didn't know was the drama that happened to that bloody building after I left, that it was actually such a right choice. I was so worried about it, and it was the best thing I could have ever have done, and maybe one day I will spill the tea on that. So that actually wasn't bittersweet in the end. It was the right thing to do, but it was bittersweet because I was leaving Grand Central forever. I'd been there for 7 years. I wouldn't be where I was without Grand Central. I owe everything to Grand Central, and no matter how bad that place got to other people, it done me so good in the past, and I will always be grateful for that. So I left Grand Central. Oh, it's weird to see me with red hair. So I then, 48 weeks ago, went out with my friend Kayla, her housemate James, and my housemate Andrew. I have red hair, Andrew's wearing a suit. It's things you just don't see anymore. But that was nice. I remember that. We went out, she stayed over. I can't believe that was nearly a year ago. That's ridiculous. Then 47 weeks ago, I got my lip pierced. I don't really need to say more. I love it. I still have it. I love it. I love it. 44 weeks ago, I then went to see Black Panther, and we documented it with this lovely picture where only the true stars are shown in this because I'm so nice to all my friends. 42 weeks ago, I did go get to see the Terracotta Warriors, not to be mistaken with army, because it is definitely not an army. There is only 6 of them. I may have thought there was an army. But yes, I went to go see the Terracotta Warriors. It was an incredible experience. I'd always wanted to do it. I was so grateful it had come to Liverpool, and I loved it. We were one of the earliest to go see it. I think they'd only opened earlier that month. It was incredible. It was such a good day. Then 42 weeks ago, I went to a Stranger Things or an 80s themed night at the Crazy House. So we all dressed up as 80s characters, and we look like the best 80s film that should never have happened here. Chris Allen, if you ever go to the MCM live stage, he is the very professional presenter that interviews all those incredible celebrities, except when he, you know, cosplays himself. Then 40 weeks ago, I went to the first convention of the year. I reviewed it. Gosh, that feels like a lifetime ago. That's ridiculous. 37 weeks ago, I went to go see Wicked, and I was depressed for 3 days on how talented they are, and I'm still trying to learn that song. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. Gosh, I want to be her. 37 weeks ago, I went to a Feast of Fire, which was actually incredible. I walked past it just going home and never seen it advertised anywhere. There was just a lot of fire, and so we went there and we spent the night there, and it wasn't that cold because you're around a lot of fire. And we went on the night of the LGBT Pride there as well. So we had loads of fire, and then we had loads of dances. We had some poetry readings. I had Bailey's hot chocolate because that's like my little treat. And yeah, fantastic. It was so good. This was a good good start to 2018. Then 35 weeks ago, I had a wonderful little YouTube meetup. So if you live in the Northwest, I run a little, very little YouTube group. I think it's only got like 65 members in, and we all do YouTube in some capacity, whether it's hobby, professional, small or large. If we're from the Northwest, we're a part of this group, and it's not to spam, it's not for sub, it's to genuinely share, communicate and build that community spirit that used to come with YouTube. And now and again, we will have a YouTube meetup. So this was just a picture taken after we had a very lovely, drunken-filled YouTube meetup. Gosh, I can't believe this was 34 weeks ago. Then 30 weeks ago, one of my customers came in and gave me this letter, and it had this medal in, and it was like, I did this marathon because you inspired me. I couldn't have done this marathon without you, so you deserve this medal as much as I do. I still have that medal and I will never get rid of it for the remainder of my days. It really picked me up. It really lifted me up when I needed it, to remind myself that no matter how lonely I feel or how much I struggle with my mental health, the fact that I'm open about that actually does help other people. And no matter how much I think I don't have friends, I do have friends, and this album proves I have friends, kind of thing. And yeah, that was wonderful. 29 weeks ago, I went to go see the ghost ship that was in Liverpool. But we went on a very windy day and we didn't see much of it, but what I did do is I sat there and I listened to this band, and they're called the Dead Belgians. Belgians, they were just sitting there singing French songs based off Jacques Brel, and they sounded miserable and depressed and French, and it was wonderful. And I was just sitting there and I went to go buy a 12 mini bottle of red wine. I remember going up to the van saying, hi, do you sell wine? And she went, we do. And I went, can I have some? And she went, how much do you want? And I went, how much can I have? And she went, how much money do you have? Oh, I'm so sorry if the frame's gone wrong because the battery went, but there we go. So yeah, I drank red wine listening to the Dead Belgians who were singing about Jacques Brel, and then I went to go see a very faint ghost ship because it was very windy, but it was once again a very memorable and loving day that I had. 29 weeks ago, I'm going to assume 26 weeks, but I hung out with my best friend, and as usual, pictures like this happen, and that made me very happy. Then 27 weeks ago, me and Andrew live streamed the E3 conference, and it was brilliant. It was so fun. I get really bad anxiety about live streaming, but I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the community. I enjoyed doing it with Andrew. I enjoyed how passionate we were. We'd stay up really late, but we still had the shop to run. So we were dead in the shop, or we'd taken in turns to take the day off so we could recover. And it was horrible, but wonderful at the same time. And I can't remember why I pulled this face, but that's probably how I felt after it, after all of that streaming. Oh, this makes me a bit sad. 25 weeks ago, I started my driving lessons, and I've had to stop because I can't afford to learn to drive, let alone drive right now. Oh, that's upset me, that one. 24 weeks ago, I was playing a board game night with my really good friends Andrew, who I never see anymore, Andrew, my housemate, who I see too much of, and Sean, who moved away in a shop I no longer have, who had this stupid idea of doing this stupid video. 24 weeks ago, I bought a van because I was learning to drive. Yes, I bought a van before I actually got the driving license, but yeah, and I was punished because I'm still repaying a loan on that, and I don't have a shop and I can't drive because I can't afford any of it, so good. 18 weeks ago, I went to the Liverpool Horror Con, and Lawrence Harvey, who I said hello to because I interviewed him at another Horror Con a previous year, and he went, oh, I remember who you are. I watch your vlogs. And that meant the world to me. That really cheered me up. That was while we were closing Level Up, and I had such a lovely night that night, and during such a dark time. And once again, it's bittersweet because I don't talk to some of the people who I hung out with that night, and that makes me sad. But I did see my book there on the wall, but that also makes me sad. About 15 weeks ago, I did put this in my good Things to Happen album because I wanted to be positive about it. I had the final open day of Level Up, and it was an auction. At the very final day the public had come into my shop, it was an auction, and so many people turned up and so many people bid on stuff, and it was a really nice day and friends came to help. And then I had like another week left where I had to pack everything else up and close my shop, and it was so horrible. But it was also really nice because we were just so exhausted by the end of it that we were just so happy it was over, and I felt really positive about everything else that I could do. It was bittersweet. I feel like that's the whole year. That's the whole year I've had, is just bittersweet. I don't know how many weeks ago this was. I'm going to assume it was 15 again, 14, 15, but I'm now blonde. It's the first time you've seen me actually blonde in any of this album, but I'm blonde, and I met up with Kayla and James again, and I think it was like the first or second week I didn't have the shop, and we went to the museum and the Tate, and we saw this wonderful, colourful wall again, and it was just really nice, and I really needed the good friendship there. Then 14 weeks ago, it was my friend Thomas's birthday, and I went out with Thomas and Andrew, and I didn't really know anyone else, and I really wanted to go dancing to rock music, and the Crazy House wasn't open that night, but we heard that this part street was doing a rock night, so we were like, let's go there, let's go there, and I was so eager to go there. And what I didn't realise was it was effectively a living room with a bar, and it was so empty. Like, if you've ever gone to a school disco and you just know you're never going to dance because it's so awkwardly empty, it was like that, and everyone was like not having a good time, and you could tell. And I don't know what happened, alcohol probably. We ended up just dancing and ended up just having the best night. It was so fun. Yet the next day, drank too much. Then 13 weeks ago, Thomas took me out for my birthday, and we went out for an all-you-can-eat meat restaurant called Fazenda, which is one of my favourite restaurants in Liverpool, and it was lovely. And then 10 weeks ago, everyone went out for my birthday. It meant the world to me, because I don't think I really share this with everyone, but I really don't feel like many people like me. And over the past 2 or 3 years, some of the people who I've loved the most are no longer my friends. I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not saying it's my fault. Sometimes life happens, but I've lost quite a few friends who have either been friends with me for a long time or I've loved so very, very much, and it meant so much to me that so many people turned up for my birthday, and I don't think they realised that, but it meant a lot to me. Then 9 weeks ago, me and Andrew went to our local pub and celebrated the fact that I'd formatted my book all by myself. Oh, this one! I had written it and formatted it all by myself, and I didn't realise I hadn't written a new book in 2 years. And so this is limited to only 250, and I think it's already sold half. And then once it's gone, it's gone. It's never getting printed again in its own capacity. I'm very proud of it. And it was at this moment, after feeling so lost and sunken into despair, because as you can see, the weeks are starting to really separate of when good things happened, and it was the book that really gave me direction again. It showed me why I should be happy Level Up's closed, the direction I want to take, where I want to go, what makes me happy, what my dream has always been, and it's to be a writer. And so that made me happy. That made me really happy. It was the first time I'd ever formatted a book, and it was perfect. I couldn't have, it was exactly how I was hoping it would look. And then 7 weeks ago, I went to MCM October in London, and I sold Take My Life, and I sold out of Peekaboo, and I made loads of new friends and met loads of new people and got to speak about my book, and it was just so fun. It was just so good and so fun, and reminded me once again what other good things I have in my life that made me so happy. Then 3 weeks ago, I managed to go see Swan Lake. It's a really weird thing for me, but I have grown up loving Tchaikovsky very, very much, and I've always wanted to see like his ballet trilogy, which is Sleeping Beauty, Swan Lake, and The Nutcracker. And I've yet to see The Nutcracker, but when I was a kid, it's one of my favourite things in the world. But I've never even seen Swan Lake, so I ticked that off the list. I've gone to see Swan Lake, and I was very, very happy. Things start picking up again. I start seeing more beauty in life, and 2 weeks ago, I started getting my Xmas TorAthena letters, which everyone knows I do every year, and I am very much looking forward to opening them on Christmas Day and replying to them. And then 6 days ago, I got my books for Open University. So about a month or two ago, I was sitting here and I went, I've got to pick the other path in my life. And before I opened Level Up, I was going to uni, and I didn't go to uni because I was opening Level Up. I don't have Level Up now, or at least I don't have the physical shop stopping me, and now I've got to go to uni. So I'm going to uni, I'm going to get a history degree, and it's going to be wonderful. And then today, when I'm filming this, I had just come back from a virtual reality cafe, and it was awesome. They invited me to go down, I got to go play on all the things, things, and I played on this Tron light cycle, and it's amazing, and it was incredible. I'm not even joking, it was incredible. It was so good. But yeah, that kind of I really didn't expect it to depress me so much. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually trying not to cry right now. There's just so many people I miss. Like some of them, like Sean, he's just moved away. Like I still love him beyond compare, but you know, there's some people in that album that aren't in my life anymore, and that makes me sad. And there's some businesses that are in that album that aren't in my life anymore, and that makes me sad. But I guess that's the message I'm taking from this year. Nothing lasts forever. Always be grateful for what you have, and always look forward, never look back. As everyone kept giving me that piece of advice. Always look forward, never look back. Never! And now it just always makes me laugh because I think it's the most ridiculous piece of advice I've ever heard. 2018 is a weird year. I miss Level Up, but I'm also very happy with where I am. But that doesn't mean I'll never stop missing parts of that. Like, I'll always be so blessed to have that shop, that space, that community. And yeah, I'm so sorry. This was meant to be positive and upbeat, and I've really made myself melancholy. I'm so sorry. But I am happy to see the end of 2018. But I am going into 2019 very positively. Okay, so I am going to be more positive. I'm so sorry that I got so upset. 2019, it's going to be good. Not going to lose a single friend next year. Going to be the best person. I'm going to cherish everyone in my life. Cherish everything that I have. I'm never going to stop hustling. I'm going to be working very hard towards a degree, towards working on YouTube. I really want to get back into full-time, but honestly at the moment I need money, and so I'm focusing on what earns me money. And so if you genuinely like my videos and you'd like to see more, maybe think about pledging on Patreon, because if Patreon ever got to the point where I earned enough, then I could focus on doing this full-time instead of the other stuff I do. But no, you can pledge for as little as $1 a month, and that's as little as 70p, and you get loads of behind the scene goodies and stuff on my Patreon. I probably give too much away that I actually make no money. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you, I just knocked something over, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!